Web Summit. This is for unleashing India. We started this in right earnest in a very small way more than a year back in May 2020, and then it has gone on uninterrupted twice a week. Now coming to this 120th show, we have two very eminent speakers, and this is done post-COVID. Post-COVID devastation, how India can grow and how the world will be a better place to live in, and in whatever way we can contribute to the growth is the general significance of this Web Summit. And here, PolicyTimes, which is the major originator of this, is basically a development media trying to do positivity into the world because there is enough negativity coming from West. Positivity means how there could be a better place to live in. And on this, my contribution is how these various web summit, we call it web summit because it is experts who talk, and we like to see that there is no interference in the talk, and they are able to contribute. They are able to tell the world what in different sectors, how they are performing, what are the various plans, and how world will be a better place to live in. So in this small presentation, today's topic is enhanced role for integration of technologies and academics for national reincarnation. Generally, every word we say has got a significance with respect to the speakers of that particular day. Today, we have a person from academic background, we have a person with technology background, and we have also their combination of multinational way in which they have worked. Much of it I'll tell while introducing them. I'll rush through this presentation. So these are the various books I have written around this topic. And coming to India, India is a country of various avenues. India is a country of very glorious past, and India is the youngest country of 70 years and also the oldest civilization of 10,000 years. And it is a country with almost 206 countries put together. If you see the population, it is also a country where only 0.45% of the land is used by the people. Just all things are free, which many of the Indians themselves find it very strange to know. And that it is a land of opportunities, it is a land of development, and it is a land with its own problems of multinational, multiracial, multicultural, multilinguistic, you name it, it is all at the highest level. And on development side, we can call ourselves a highly developed country because we are welcomed anywhere in the world. We are doing the best in the world. At the same time, we are also in a highly developing country because of the population. We were left as an independent country with a 350 million people country, and we added 850 million more people. If you had been around 350 million people, we would have been the biggest and the best economy in the world. We added 850 million people. Now, what coincidentally happening is this 850 million people is becoming a market for the world. So the whole world is trying to come around India. Now, based on that, so many things are there, but this COVID has come as a big, thing which is disturbing the economy, disturbing anything. And COVID itself is whole COVID put together is 1 gram. That's what we are told. And that is destroying the economy. Even in terms of death and all, it's all so meaningless numbers because in India, normally 27,000 people die. And no COVID at its peak has done more than 4,000. But doesn't mean it has somehow got its own, vengeance on India and the world. So we have to bow to it. We cannot fight against this, things which are there. Now, coming to today's topic, now next, all the slides I'll rush through. We'll have only the main headings we will just go. This is for technology because both the people have got huge amount of things which they have done on technology front. They are trying to bring India to the forefront in the world, which they will explain, and integrating that with the life of a common man, with the life of the India's economy is something which they will talk about. So it is a technology integration, and technology integration, whatever are the various matrices and everything has been described in these slides, which will have its own meaning for the topic of today. And we are talking of a collaboration cycle, how each of the technology can bring various types of sub sectors of growth. That means when you develop one, how there will be so much employment, because today 20 million new Indians are born every day, every year, thankfully, every year. So these 20 million people who are born 20 years back will want a job today. So same way who is born today will have something. So these are, various avenues, like this particular small thing I will just say. This will have, artificial intelligence is a very, very big field. If it is not used properly, it is just like a knife. It can cut the hand, it can cut a vegetable. Artificial intelligence is like that. If you don't use it properly, it will cut your hand. It will destroy everybody. If you use it properly, it will be the golden goose for our growth. Okay. We have to see that all these things work at the mercy of the human being. It should not rule the human being. Same way, any of the other things in terms of big data, video analytics, or blockchain, we have to see that these technologies are not coming on top of our head, are there to support us, are not there to lead us. So in that, various technologies are there. Since we are talking of education, is also in front, in terms of intelligent board, intelligent classroom, integration with, even if somebody at home, how, our COVID has taught us that, how sitting at home, we can do everything which we want to go. And it's got its own negativity. We can't say everything is positive, but we have to do it because we need to survive and take us to a different level. So I will directly come to the last two slides because I have something small to tell in terms of secured education. Many of these things I'm doing from the point of view of self-sustained growth of economy. How the economy will grow on a self-sustained model. That is going by this particular concept, which is called secured governance. This is a doctrine of, self-sustained growth of economy, where through value valuation, how things will grow. Like here, there is a school. Here, there's an education institution. Education institution, the moment it comes, it brings huge value around education institution. Unbelievable numbers. Whereas whatever money is put in education institution, our own research finds it is only 4% of the gain which has come to the neighborhood. Okay. But education institution doesn't gain one pie out of it. So this particular governance, when it's reported, it tries to make these systems more self-sustained, more growing. So that is what is the funding, how it will be available, what is available. They're all part of the secured governance doctrine. And how, by just calling this as a hub and making the system around, how we can make a self-sustained economy. So with that, I will also directly start, go to the slide for it. I've written a huge number of books around this logic, more than 100 books. That is for, people to find how they can take it forward. Now coming to today's two very, very eminent speakers, I have Mike Muralidharan. Fortunately, the second time Mike is coming. Last time he created extremely good impression on many, the way he addressed, the way he talked, and the way he said what he had to say. He is a chairman of an NGO by the name Alert, which is very interesting. Yes, an Alert NGO is something which will really do something good for the country, good for everybody. And he's also a former chairman of a women's college. Very nice to see him in that experience. And he is also CEO of a multinational group, almost $1 billion multinational group, and doing some huge work for India. And he himself is a voracious speaker, and he addresses so many similar things and brings knowledge to the forefront. Second is Sanjay Landge. He is again a person of a very different background. He doesn't have anything much in education directly. He himself has got a corporate company, which is doing more in terms of finance funding. The second one, which is of more interest in today's context, is a company, I think by the name Blue Markers. They are doing fantastically different IT products. Okay, IT products which can give this type of video conferences, they can give exhibition, they can have meeting, MSMEs and all will find it a great great way in which they can go forward. And they got products similar to many things which are being which are coming from abroad. Today, when we say make in India, he's one of those guys who has ideally followed this particular path and made many products as make in India to make us really proud. I would like both of you to talk initially about yourself, starting with Mike, because he has come before, so he knows the 10 minutes each, and then we will not overshoot the time. The next 10 minutes, we will talk, how in this COVID era, how our sector, your sectors will make its own contribution, how this can give rise to national reincarnation on a bigger platform. As you know, the last point is on secure governance. I am planning 200 years of prosperity for Indians and for the world. So any of these inputs are always good, because it is one way to keep crying about COVID, keep crying about population, to keep crying about so many things. But second thing is to give a solution. How we will grow forward, what all things we will do, how we all can make, how we are all in our, maybe 50s and 60s. So we all have to leave a legacy by which the future generations are happy about what we have done, why we have done, and what we are saying, and why we are saying. With that, let me hand over to Mike. Both the speakers are only talking, so there is no need to have any more slides. So slide portion is over. So Mike, we are very keen to hear from you about you and your glorious work you are doing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sekhar. In fact, from the slides, now let me slide into the program. So very good evening, Dr. Sekhar, Chairman of Unleashing India, and Mr. Akram Haque, who is the PolicyTimes, doing a great job. I think it's now, congratulations to you on, I think the 120 mark. I'm sure it will go to 200 as well. Primarily because I think the topics that it's a very difficult thing to have multiple sessions with so many topics, and not only topics, sometimes the same topic will have different perspectives. I think fabulous job done by both of you. My best wishes to you. And so thanks for inviting me for a second time. And very good evening to Mr. Sanjay Landge. I saw your profile, and it's a very interesting profile, and definitely very nice that I'm speaking along with you in today's session. Of course, one thing is, while pandemic impact has created the awareness and importance of leveraging technology, in fact, more than a digital CTO or a CDO, I think it's a pandemic which is pushed us into using technology. We didn't have a choice. And now what we need is a need, especially I think as Dr. Sekhar told, see, I have three perspectives from which I come. One is definitely a very humane perspective, where I'm the chairman of a NGO, where our mission is to save lives. I'll keep that for a different day, but then Dr. Kalam guided us, and we are doing that for the last 15 years. Second thing is, of course, I have been the chairman of one of the largest colleges in Chennai with about 8,000 students. So I know what it means to handle students and teaching, and how digitalization can help. But then it was not a must till about a year and a half back. But now it is not only a must; it's the only way. So it's just transformed overnight. Like as they say, it was an absolutely out of syllabus question for all of us. But then the third part is, yes, I am in the IT industry. So I see the perspective of where we can contribute to not just education, for any walk of life where technology can help. So in that context, what we need is a more holistic solution, so that teachers and learners have access to a platform that is responsive to their needs. In fact, research has shown that students learn best when they engage in active learning. I would say even adults, I think we keep learning all our life. But what happens is, beyond our compelled college education, in life when we start learning, we learn because we enjoy whatever we imbibe, and it just, the absorption is better. But normally during a forced situation, students tend to be a little, not as attentive. But if it's a very engaged, active learning, they'll definitely be learning better. So that is what we should look at when we are looking at online. Many educators, however, use technology in a passive manner. It is like, if I can say, you have a stage play, and if you want to make it as a movie, you cannot just shoot it when it's happening on stage. You have to bring a different perspective and make it more interesting with more elements, which is not possible in a stage. So, like that, an online education is not like just a teacher standing there and reeling off whatever is normally taught in class. So what is extremely important is, we should actually, even teachers sometimes feel they're forced into these virtual classrooms. And so they're struggling to make this experience very interactive. So that is something, in fact, we are also trying here, wherever I'm involved, to see how teachers can also start enjoying the fact as to how to leverage technology. When we watch a sport on TV, you expect much beyond. You go to a stadium, you just watch somebody bowl, somebody bat, or somebody strike a goal. But once you are on TV, you expect much beyond: replays, statistics, analysis. references to how the batsman played in the last match and how he's playing. I mean, so then it becomes engaging, and I don't see any big difference between that and a learning experience for students. Essentially, that's what I feel, that usages of animation, visuals, repeat visuals, and all these things will reinforce topic absorption of any learner. I'm not talking about only college students, any learner. In fact, for simple thing, today's TVs are smart. You cannot have a dumb TV. You want a TV which can give you a lot of options. So the same way, online learning must also be smart. Making a sudden transition from face-to-face online learning, it has also become difficult due to glitches. It could be tech glitches and other things. But I think all that is, we are putting it behind. The answer lies in creating interactive, innovative systems that offer personalized, tailored education. In fact, curated stuff. In fact, that's why what happens is, while we can Google search many topics, curated information is now what is wanted, because even to Google search and get to land to something, it's not the best way of doing it. So you need some assistance. So my feeling is, from a digital perspective, one of the advantages of technology is that it just breaks the geography barrier. In fact, it would have prohibited many students from attending desired courses earlier, because either that's not available in the place where they're learning from. In fact, it is even tier 2, tier 3 cities, they don't have access. TVs broke one rule. Now this is breaking a different rule altogether, but it brings everybody into the classroom across time zones. In fact, so best teachers, there are sometimes some niche areas where teachers are fantastic. There are only probably 100 teachers in the country. Now today, all the students cannot have access. Now the best teachers offering online classes can reach any student. I mean, like, that's therefore what happens is, the spread of knowledge is very wide. While it may lack the touch and feel, then what happens is it becomes an assisted learning. In fact, even there can be local teachers who can also, along with the students, go through that and gradually become adept at teaching this solution. So what I'm saying is, I would say online learning in a different form, from a perspective of leveling society, it's playing a major role. You can access courses on any convenient device. Today, anywhere, with an inexpensive low-cost tablet or a mobile in a metro or a hill station or anywhere remote, they can access. I think the Wi-Fi systems have improved drastically in the country. Distance learning means that students who do not have access to physical schools are given an equal opportunity to education. I'll tell you, in a country like ours, where we want to bring everybody with an equal status, I think this is the best thing that has happened. With more and more corporates committing themselves to supporting education, governments already have been giving laptops and other things. Even the corporates today, one of the primary things that people do is provide education. And even the remotest village, a poor student will get a tablet and is bound to get access to good education. Much like today, I'll tell you, in Tamil Nadu, we find there's a huge startup ecosystem outside the metro. Earlier, it used to be limited to metro. Even the mentors used to be at metro. Today, because of a virtual session, we reach out to everybody in what you call some of the forums that I'm there, and that's a phenomenal. It will only be seen in future when things really happen. See, again, one more thing is, many times people say, okay, fine, how can we replace classrooms? I put it this way: there was a stage in the history when Bodhidharma traveled all the way from India to China to study. I mean, and without any proper transportation. And over a period of time, we found that so many people, I mean, we had classrooms which had probably 15, 20 students. In fact, now today, some classrooms look like what do you call a different type of a discourse, where you have 100 students in a college attending to one lecture. I'm telling you, these are all happening. The changes are happening. And today, technology is, we have to make it an engaging bridge. Learning should be and can be and should be fun. I think that is what is most important. Online learning, it gives an opportunity to structure assessments within the lessons. For example, a student, teacher, when he or she is teaching, they can use many what do you call in between things, like I was talking about the TV using analysis and replays. They should not just do the normal teaching. They can use all that. It will become like a hybrid thing, no? An online teacher teaching something and also adding this. This will help that the learners will be more engaged, and by using formats like video games and other things, it will become very engaging. By creating structured content, learning tools, and engaging all, we can even engage all age group, because when people are all around, they can also join in. In fact, another very important thing is, I used to think, probably even few years back, correspondence education used to be something which is lesser. People who did not go to college, people used to feel. Today, that is exactly what is the whole world doing. We are not able to go to a college, and we are doing it from elsewhere. Scalability is so high. See, I'll tell you, I can go on and on, but my only thing is, if we can watch a cricket match from home and enjoy, why not learn from home and learn better? I mean, that's what I would like to say. And I feel that technology is literally is having its best time today, because we are forced to do it. And one more thing, we are talking about post-pandemic, and I constantly keep saying, I think we should change it to being living with pandemic, because I don't know how long and in what ways it's going to be coming. I think we should not stop our lives to be controlled by the pandemic. We should live in parallel, and possibly digital technology and all these things are going to be the biggest support for this phase. So that's where I am.
Thank you. In any way, when we say post-pandemic, means we are talking post last March. We have to live with it. And, and we believe that, a pandemic or COVID is never going to go. We are also thankful that till now in our whole series, we are not talked that, wear mask and wear vaccination and wear this. And there's nothing of that, as no speaker has said, neither have we said. Life has to go on. It is one more. It is your body has got so many parts, and so many parts have got so many problems. And that cannot be, that cannot drive the economy down.
Right.
Thankful that, you are, all of us are taking part, especially your talk was really good. That, it's a positive approach which is important. The moment I say a small insect bite or something very big and treat, insect bite will kill me. There's nothing, there is nothing for us to survive. Whereas even a dinosaur thing, if we fight and take it, we will win and we will go, because our intelligence is such that anything we can do. Today we are going out of space, going to outer planets, and all those things are there. Because I always say that nature has given land and water. Okay. Other than that, it has given fire, wind, and brain to the human beings.
Absolutely.
Brain to the human being is something which is given to oversee the whole world. And inside the world, Indians have got a huge thing to contribute. The expectancy from Indians, by any foreigner, is so high that I sometimes feel that whether Indians know what is it that others are thinking. We always talk only negative about ourselves. But when you meet a foreigner, irrespectable foreigner, many of them, they got so much respect, so much of listening and knowledge friend, and every sectoral friend, they expect India to lead. Now coming to Sanjay, anyway, I have introduced Sanjay. Sanjay, please, first 10 minutes on your background and COVID situation.
Thank you, Dr. Sekhar. Good evening to everyone. Okay, when I'm going to talk about the technology, most of the preamble has been given by Mr. Muralidharan. And Dr. Sekhar, you have already explained the importance of the digitalization, particularly from COVID-19 situation and post-COVID-19 situation. We are from the technology. See, the devices are getting developed, electronic devices, digital devices, applications are important. So what has happened during the COVID-19, the economy is halted. It is stopped at one particular place. The growth has stopped because we are not interacting with each other. Reason is that. Second thing, you are not allowed to make any focus on the business with a particular like expansion, like any integration, like technology transfer, nothing is happening. And that's why the economy and GDP has stopped at one particular place. Now what will happen? During COVID, if this has happened, post-COVID, it has to move again. So we were somewhere under 9.55% growth. Now we have come down to 2% and even minus GDP percentage. It has to go up further. I'm talking in respect of the education, what has happened. The student coming to the classes and colleges have reduced, but then still they are taking e-education. As rightly stated by Mr. Mac, the e-education, e-learning is a very, very essential in this situation. And it is really like you are watching TV, you should watch your classroom also. Teachers are getting acquainted with the digitalization. They are teaching on the class. Even I am a teacher. I am also teaching on the my mobile, the subject like finance to Symbiosis College. This is possible. This is happening, and it should be done everywhere. Now, important part is this education should reach to the village level, to the tier 2, tier 3 cities where students do not have access. And because why they do not have access? Because they are not aware about this particular technology. So making awareness about the digitalization is most important in India. I am from the technology. I am running a company which is a Blue Mark Software Private Limited, and we have developed certain devices, software devices like mobile app, virtual exhibition platform, then video conferencing platform, and then there is an e-commerce platform. All the four are developed in Pune by our team, and I'm proud to say this is made in India. So how it will be helpful? We are always meeting people since last 2.5 years of various sectors, say for education, say for any industrial sector, for agriculture sector, and even we are meeting to students also. The necessity is that, the interaction should happen frequently and whenever it is required in most effective manner. If this happens, then the vested interest is created between the two interactions, and people start taking interest into that e-commerce or e-education or e-commerce or e-business. Whatever is there, everywhere vested interest has to be created. That vested interest may be taking education, giving education, purchasing, buying, interacting for technology, everything. But media has to be there. So what media has to be there now? If you see the social media, they are also giving very good support to even a smallest place in India where people have good smart mobile and they are utilizing Facebook and other things. This is really good and remarkable. That a thing was required that by using this software, if we can develop certain things which will be helpful in enhancing your knowledge, in enhancing your business, then it will definitely help people. What study we have done, my team has done, that during the COVID-19 situation, people were stuck. They were not able to interact. So we came up with the product which is called as the Ablimit, so that they can interact with each other. Okay, most of the people, they are now sharing their papers, their drawings of the component to the OEMs, and OEMs are accepting it. So this pandemic situation has really given a lesson that digitally you can really work. You don't have to meet each other. Your traveling expenses can be reduced. Your time to connect with the people can be reduced. Your printing expenditure also can be reduced. And this is the best saving to increase your profitability even. Same thing for education institute. Teachers can get interacted with the students. Student can get interacted between them and with the teacher and with the expert people who are sitting in offshore countries for their subject. This interaction is necessary. So for this interaction, we made a good platform, and that is Ablimit we did. Now we came to the second platform where you have to exhibit yourself, express yourself very effectively. Your product should be expressed very effectively. Your institute should be shown very nicely, effectively, so that you are in front of your customers, your stakeholders 24/7, and this is what is required. So how it can be done? In addition to, or next step to the website, we have made a 24/7 showcase, a digital showcase of every institute. So any education institute, it can be shown 24/7 on our platform, that is Ably Expo platform, wherein we can show videos of the professors, lecturers, videos of the education classes which teachers are taking there, and we are showing books also from the colleges on our platform. This is possible. So person who is even going to abroad from India or vice versa, he can still be available in the classroom all the time. He can interact with the teacher, he can interact with the institutes. Teachers can discuss with each other between them, because this Ably Expo is mobile usable. It can be used on mobile itself. You don't have to open laptop anywhere. Just open on the mobile your Ably Expo, or you can open 24/7 shop, your 24/7 your showroom, or you can talk on the Ably from the mobile itself. And now I'm also talking to you on the mobile, because things are possible. The smartphones have come, devices have come, application is necessary, and this application we have to teach to those people who are really not aware about it. Maybe student, maybe farmer, maybe industrialist, maybe any businessman. We have to teach him the awareness about this application. That has come, that is a need. Then post-COVID situation, this will really help us to improve fast, to accelerate the growth very fast. Now coming to my particular area, we are educating industrialists, we are giving them awareness about the program. And believe me, 56,000 and plus industrialists have come on our platform, and they're interacting with each other. They are located in tier 2, tier 3 cities. They were not aware at all about the digital promotion of their product. And very happily, I'm telling you, a woman from the Sundar Nagar Sari Center, which is a remote place, she has sold her sari to America from our platform. This is possible. Platform is important, but again, awareness to that lady who is even not even 4th standard pass, she could sell her sari to you, America. That is the reason we are telling, even Mac has also explained the same way, that technology is important. Utilize the technology better, make your process effective and result oriented. That is what I wanted to say. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sorry, it was on mute. So you are taking India global. That is the biggest achievement of whatever you are doing. Please go ahead. Sir. And I'm sure Mike also would welcome such a thing, and every listener also would welcome. And now coming back to Mike, the second portion of our talk is more in terms of how are we going to get the people, because people like you and me have got the additional responsibility. We can't take care of only ourselves. We have to see that the common man, the decision makers, they are all in sync for growth. Today, only talking of blowing things out of proportion on that, let them do. We are not trying to say anything about it. But how? By making each sector grow. Both of you are in IT sector, both of you are doing a lot of work for the society. Both of you are trying to see how India can grow into a very different phenomena, which is what is the expectation of the world. So how do we take it forward? Mike, can you please start the second?
Yeah. No, fundamentally, I feel that IT sector, I always feel, will grow only when we realize that we are a support sector. We don't have an industry of our own. We actually support all industries, whether it's automobile, whether it's banking, whether it's hospitality, everything, aviation. So it's important that all the sectors do well for IT sector to do well. That's number one. But on a different note, if they are having trouble, the one which can really save them is also IT sector. If you look at it, banks could do very well only because the digitalization has been established very well over the last so many years. And when really the pandemic struck, we could possibly go completely digital and electronic because of the infrastructure that's been developed. And the industry, the IT sector had to work with the triple efficiency to make sure that we ensure that transactions don't suffer. Physical movements were deeply affected, but we could do that. Similarly, in every walk of life, I think IT sector has a very key role to play, and more importantly, in all these areas, we have to have much more a secure way of performing our duty. And I'm sure that Mr. Sanjay, from whatever I could understand at a minimum level, I think he's in a space where he's trying to support some of the areas which could be of value. I think possibly I'll listen to him and then we'll continue the conversation.
Yes, sir.
Sanjay, please. Now it is your time.
Yeah, sir. My view that how to reach to the people and make them aware. This is your question. And I feel that there are two important roles, important people and media who can really do this work. As Mike has rightly stated, that IT sector is not an industry, it is a supporting industry. It is supporting industry to all sector of economy, even including politics. So in this situation, what it should be done, the influencer is a one media where they should promote that digitalization is necessary. And they can keep on educating people through their influencing statements and blogs and writing that this is necessary, this is a need, and go for that. Second thing is that the government of authorities can implement this digitalization more effectively. The execution should become more importantly to the lower level where people are not aware. So you go to the Latur side, Aurangabad side in Maharashtra or any part of the state in India, the people are not reaching there to educate. So what will reach there is the social media, one way, and second way is the education institutes. Education institute, if they start right from the school age, what is the digitalization and what is importance, then everything will happen. This is very effective media. That's what my suggestion is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think I could agree no less with Mr. Sanjay. In fact, many places today, for example, banking industry is absolutely dependent, or not even dependent, has been empowered with digital technology.
Agreed.
In fact, we have a product called Asymmetrics. It's an early warning system. Essentially, through the cycle of an account, the life cycle of an account, it has an ability to predict and warn the authorities as to whether there is an intentional default or sometimes even an unintentional default which will require support. Simple thing is, an unintentional default can be probably from a secondary information on the web. You find that some third-party information says somebody is misusing the funds that has been lent to him.
Correct.
With the same way, another person could be defaulting to the same value, but then it could be an industry where it could be an agricultural related industry, and there could be a poor monsoon or probably floods in a particular part of the country, and therefore the sales for that particular product would have come down. So this is a person who requires probably an extended support so that he can come back. He's been a good. See, these are type of things. No, this can only happen because sitting in one place, let me say in Mumbai, the bank authorities may not know what exactly is happening in Assam or some other place and how is the account being managed. I'm just saying these are the places where definitely I think the technology really supports people feel empowered in whatever they're doing. Yeah,
exactly. Sir, I have one example here. In Bagalkot area in Karnataka, about 3,500 farmers, they are well aware about their own land how much water is required for the land, in which condition, in which weather condition, and what crop to be grown in that particular weather condition. This is known to this, all those 3,500 because a company in Pune has given them education on this. They are into water resource management. So if these 3,500 farmers can make a well management about their farms, it can be implemented in all India level. This is the example. We have set example in India at various corners. Thing is to be, we have to spread it. We have to make them aware that this can happen. That is most important.
So coming to our core topic, because we are talking, of course, these are all national reincarnation, whatever we are saying. But on each sector, how do we get that multiplied effect? That means, suppose we say IT, ICT, you are all involved in so many core areas of business. How it will have a multiplied effect for a national growth point of view? What we are trying to address through this series is how there could be a comfort that every sector has to go forward. And when it is going forward not at the cost of the economic growth. The economic growth, the employment growth, the whole national prestige, the point of where there could be a multiplied effect, because we are saying how we are going to have a legacy of a growing India and a growing world. India cannot grow in isolation. That's what Chinese is making a mistake. China wants to grow at the cost of other countries. India always wanted to grow along with other countries. India never had any Indian sitting in any other country, even as a prime minister. He looks at that country's growth rather than his growth or India's growth, which is what is welcomed by any Indian. So with that perspective, I would like to, the next 5 minutes of each, to concentrate on, maybe first we'll start with Mike, and then, we'll come to Sanjay.
Yeah, see, one of the things which I feel is, I'll tell you, you made a very nice point. I always believe that as long as you don't have a bad intention to grow at the cost of somebody, and you keep growing, it is great. And there are sometimes when you don't grow at all, without you may not affect anybody, but if you don't grow at all, I think that does not help at all. So my personal feeling is that as a country, as a set of people with a lot of talent available in the country, as you rightly said, people don't understand the intrinsic abilities that we are capable of. So knowing that, if we are right now, I think the pandemic has also helped us in a different fashion. Like you said, without looking at which country, but then we seem to be a country which means good for the world. And that seems to be a goodwill which we can capitalize on. And whatever we are doing right now, many businesses are looking at seeing whether if it can come to India. So especially the intellectual part.
Yes.
So some of the captives can become bigger here, but that is to support as a service. But even products, some of the products that we create are right now being looked at with much more value. In fact, I would even put it this way. A simple thing is, when we realized around last February or so that there is a pandemic, if I can use the same word, post-pandemic, in 3 to 4, 5 weeks, there were many areas where we could find solutions within the country, because we could not get it from other parts of the world, including vaccines, which means there is an intrinsic capability, which probably prior to that, we might have always looked outside to see whether they will supply to us. But we moved to a stage where we can supply to the world. It did not only bring business to the country, but it also put the respect level for the country went up. So my personal feeling is that I think the intrinsic capabilities that we have are right now not just respected, but valued also in terms of turning it out as a business form to the country. So I think many companies like us or Mr. Sanjay's will all be valued, will be respected, and what we do will be will translate to export business in with much more vigor and pace as well. That will definitely come.
Sanjay ji?
I agree.
Your point
Yeah.
of your product and its multiplication in terms of, similar products and similar companies, now it will not be your product or company oriented. Would you be able to explain how
Absolutely.
you rise to a real growth of the country? Sanjay.
Right. Yeah, sir, I have to say this way. The cost on digitalization of any transaction is much, much lesser, maybe 20 to 25% of the actual physical promotional cost. This cost is affordable to even smallest businessman in India. Now, the pandemic has given correct realization to every businessman that digitalization is must. So, to multiply this, to enhance more people coming on the digital platform, onboarding them here, and then we export our technology, export our product to other countries under which are developing countries. This has become possible through the digital media. So there are so many resources, like there is a government fund, there is a private fund, there is a CSR, which should be utilized on priority basis for making awareness of digitalization and helping people to promote their product beyond the perimeter they are working. This is the one solution which can be utilized. Secondly, when it becomes a need, person adopts it. It should become a need. And the need is realized, but cannot be executed sometimes. Because there are so many things. There is no knowledge about the subject. One, or there is no money to implement it, or number three, there is no systematic method. So all these three are again a part of education. If these three educations are given time and again through various media, then people will get aware. In developed country, already things are happening. So Europe is accepting a crankshaft drawing from India, and they are making it accordingly. This is happening since last several years. We are seeing that. But then Indian person accepting crankshaft design from a Taiwan, from a Bangladesh, or from Sri Lanka, or from Fiji, Jaisa country, this is not happening. The reason is only that the adaptability of the technology. And that will definitely happen when a generation which is today, they should first accept the digitalization benefits, technology, and then they should pass it on to the next generation. Automatically, things will be better in coming years.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me give a little bit of a concluding talk, and again I'll request both of you to have a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
So whatever way we are analyzing is that technology is a must for growth. Otherwise, we all are happy just sitting in half an acre of land which can feed us, and we all need not talk of. That's why I also want to make one more statement. GDP is not only the parameter for growth.
Correct.
Happiness is a parameter of growth. But since we are a large country, since we are a growing country, since we are an intelligent country, and since we are a country which wants to do so many things, so we have to also consider GDP in our calculation. And when we say GDP, it has got, of course, its own definition can even be debated and all. I'm not saying coming to that. GDP means we should have enough of financial, muscle, financial movement of finance from various sectors of economy. Now, as Indians, initially, we were all very proud of being an agro-economy. So we were all having agriculture. Today, agriculture itself can be, because of technology, because of our own human brains, it is so automated that in other countries, hardly 1 or 2%, and we are still having 60-70% agriculture. And now they are also coming out of agriculture, because they find that same thing which can be done by a small machine, why I am doing it. This is also getting debated. People say, oh, by this we are losing jobs. Are we losing job, or are we enhancing the job? It's something which we have to finally convince people, not force it on them. Just like, when we make roads through our other topic, because of roads, so many people are getting, their land is getting taken away. Then many times I find that India has got so much of wasteland, and they are throughout India. Just use it. Why do you want to deprive somebody of his livelihood? Second is whether the livelihood itself can be different. Well, sitting in there, Instead of just cultivating something which is very automatic, can you do something more? The services comes in picture. Whether the services can be multifold. India hardly attracts, 1/10 of what it should be attracting as tourism. Of course, during the pandemic time, tourism is almost zero. But if you make it 10 times, there'll be 10 times more growth. Tourism sector, even otherwise occupies maximum people employed. It will have a different dimension. All will have a huge, impact on IT. Or in fact, IT will impact all of them. IT will be the one which will be a facilitator. So there'll be again be a huge employment in IT sector, huge employment in the services sector, huge employment in the support sector. Because even if somebody has to move from X place to another, somebody has to come from USA to India, with 25 million Indians abroad, they are all our ambassadors. In some other context, I said, we have exported 25 million supercomputers to the world. Okay, because every human being is bigger than a supercomputer and at a free of cost basis, and we are getting some revenues out of it. Because this 25 million Indians bring in almost $85 billion per annum. So which is what we are getting as a revenue for what we have exported. Our own human beings are the best in the world from all angles without belittling others. Let us not also try to say that we are better than them. We are saying we are best. My mother can be best. Your mother also can be best. So nothing else. It may not be better than them. So we are somewhere the best people in the world and we are proud of it. Okay. So with that particular aspect, the technology can make a huge dent. Whatever Sanjay is doing as in his company, whatever Make is doing in his establishment, they all can play the driving role. They all can be the driver for India's growth. And it will be a dot. But unless we have many dots and we join all of them, our progress will not come. And if you just say, oh, you're only a dot, what difference it makes you at a 10 crore company or 2 crore company? Because we have to again, talk in terms of, trillions of dollars. Unless there are many of these, nothing will happen there. There are trillions of dollars will be eyewash. Okay. So we need to have many of companies like yours, many of the people with your thinking, many people who would like to come forward and see that, yes, we are good. So nice about both of you is that talking positive. Otherwise there's enough of negativity. Yes, negative thing is that nobody can shy away from the fact that something has attacked it. We always call this a World War III. World War III from an invisible enemy. An invisible enemy, there's no destruction, no nothing, and still it has destroyed everything. So it is something like a very, very dramatic and very saddening story. But when we have to grow with vengeance. We have to grow with, double enthusiasm. We have to grow with something by which we feel that we are doing something for our future generation and for our own generation. Otherwise, we will just be, blown away by this COVID. COVID will win against us. And COVID can never win against us because we are a country with all the negativity which is being said, a country with so much of positivity, so much of past background, so much of victories which India has had with all the, maybe 800 years of, negative rule. That's all because two brothers fight and, others come and take over. So today, at least that won't happen because I hope that doesn't happen because, we have known that this all can happen. So coming to the final concluding remark. So each sector, today we are talking of somewhere education, technology, and binding it together. A lot of entrepreneurs can come in education. They are the gold mine for education because, and we are having startups like Mike said, that many of the startups are started going outside main cities, which is a big news for us. Okay. Yeah. So by that, we are trying to see a positivity and a negativity in something which has attacked us. It's just like, a lotus coming out of the most dirtiest, water drained the place. Nobody can believe how can such a beautiful thing come. That is what will happen now. We'll have so many good things coming. We'll have so many things by which we are all proud, even though we have been attacked, we have been beaten, we have been what negative. We cannot have this thing. What has happened. But we are all there. We are all laughing. We are all smiling. We are all thinking. We are all trying to make ourselves a better people to the thing. We are. This has also allowed us to contribute more. This has allowed us to, not go into a shell and say everything is bad and everything is this thing. We are all. So coming to the last concluding remark. I would like both of you to have 2 minutes each. We got hardly 3 minutes more. 2 minutes each to have your concluding say on this particular topic, starting with Mike and then Sanjay. Mike.
Yeah. No. My simple thing is especially in line with the topic that we have been discussing. Technology in education is going to be not just a game changer. It's going to change the way a generation is going to come out of the shell. So the entire the set of students who never had reach for some education will be in the next 5-6 years. You may find that crop would have, due to the pandemic, got onto some of those learning experiences, and they would form the core of, because India is India's core is the youth population, and you'll have a much wider youth population which is well educated, and that will augur well for the country. And because our the industries that we are really working on are relate to intellectual property, and I'm sure that all of these people will come with more passion and hunger to transform. And that's going to be the strength of our country. In 5 years' time, we'll see that the seeds will germinate into plants, and then possibly that will be the foundation for the future.
Thank you. Sanjay ji?
Perfect. As we are into the technology and we are into the development of the software which are needed to any layman, any lay businessman, what we are planning that we will make awareness program. We will engage more illiterate people here to literate others. That awareness program is not necessary. The social, if you increase the per capita income by giving them jobs and teach them technology, they themselves become entrepreneurs. So we will create more entrepreneurs in coming years. That is what we are aiming. Then we will make our entrepreneurs capable of exporting their product to abroad. They will earn more income. This way we will try to contribute something into the increasing economic upliftment in the country. This is what we are aiming now. And third thing, most importantly, the software which will be utilized by us will be very homely, friendly, and it can be used by any layman. Okay, so tomorrow a woman selling something cooked by her in her house, she should be able to utilize the software and sell it and export that product to the other countries. So this is how the easiness, so ease of doing business is necessary. Using Make in India product is necessary, and exporting Made in India product is necessary, which we are trying to help all these goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to give the final concluding remark. So we are that pro, and I would like to thank both the speakers for their excellent presentation of the ideas in terms of how IT, how education, and like you said, how even a remote lady sitting in some village can use technology, which is what is required today, because our people are not unintelligent just because they are sitting in remote area. If we give them a chance, they will be there to stand by and learn and take things forward. So we have a very good future, and we are trying to be the best in the world, because the world is expecting us to be best in the world, because we have 25 million ambassadors sitting in every country. You know, we always joke that one Indian cricket or Indian film of any this thing, if it is launched even in Siberia, it will be houseful. Okay, no other country, including Hollywood, can have that type of a claim or that type of a privilege. So,
exactly.
and simple and soft. Others are there, like whatever we saw in the English match, you know, beating each other and all. That is not there. We also lose, we also win. We just come out and then we just come back into our life. So same way, on this technology front, we have got a huge responsibility. The topmost technology companies are now, all the CEOs are Indians, including, may not be the topmost, including one of the multinationals, which is headed by our Mike. Same way, we are there to take things forward for the world, and we are there to contribute for the world, and India will grow, and we all will grow, and ensure that, of course, my secured governance, we are talking of 200 years. I only hope I'm successful in making a 200 years plan. And with the type of enthusiasm which all of us have, we will achieve it, and we'll achieve it with a resounding, method. Thank you, and thanks to both of you again. And we
Thank you,
conclude.
Dr. Sekhar. Thank you, Akram.